Today, I'm knocking something off my whiskey wish list. Old Forester Single Barrel, Barrel Proof Rye. Let's get into it. Hello everyone, welcome back to Brad's Bourbon Reviews. I'm Brad, and today, like I said in the intro, very excited. This bottle has evaded me for a long time. I've gotten multiple single barrel proof bourbons. I've gotten some Old Forester single barrels at 100 proof, which are pretty solid. But this bottle has evaded me. I have never seen one in person until the other day. I'm walking into a great liquor store. I'm not going to give the name of it yet, and the only reason is I'm doing something with them soon. And I will say this, if you were in the Orlando area, you're going to want to know about this liquor store. So I'm not going to say the name of it yet, but got this bottle at retail, and I'm very excited to get into this. I'm so excited to give this bottle a try. Now, if you were new to the channel, if you've never seen one of the videos before, just so you know, I am not a big rye person. I don't love rye whiskey. I like rye whiskey from time to time. There are certain ones that I do enjoy, and then there are certain ones for me that it's just like I'm good to never drink that again. For example, some of my taste for rye whiskeys are Hemingway Rye. I love that bottle. That's a finished one. I like some of the High West Midwinter's Night Dram. I like the Bullet 12 Year. I think was a really solid bottle this year, especially at the price point. I actually really enjoy Old Forester, the 100 Rye, as well as the Jack Daniel's Bonded Rye. Those are some of my favorite rye whiskeys. Of course, with Thomas H. Handy. Thomas H. Handy for me is probably the best rye whiskey that I've personally ever had. So keep that in mind when I give this review and when I give it a rating scale, when I give it a rating on my rating scale, because normally I will be rating it compared to bourbons. But with this one, since rye whiskey is not my favorite and bourbon's a little more my thing, the scale might have to be altered. So I might have to do some math and kind of, meld those two rating scales to line up so I feel like this gets a fair rating, because I don't want to just, say I don't like it. So the only way to know if we actually like it is to just go ahead and jump into this thing. I have not opened this yet, and you can see it's sealed. So let's go ahead and get this in a Glen. Let's give it a nosing, a mouthing, and then I will give it a score on a scale of 1 to 10. Old Forester does not make bad whiskey in my experience. I think I've liked pretty much everything except the mint julep that they made a few years ago. That was absolutely terrible, and you should be ashamed of yourself. But outside of that, I don't think there's anything I've ever had from Old Forester that I didn't really like. So I'm curious to see if this is another one of those things, or if this is something that I will pass in the future. The problem with me with ryes is I feel like they all kind of taste similar. They all have like a slight earthy note, some orange, some licorice, and it's just kind of that. I'm hoping this one's a little different. Don't know the mash bill on this, but I do know that it comes in at 127.1 proof, and it was aged in Warehouse K on floor 1. So it's not that dark, even for how high of a proof it is, which I actually noticed when I bought it. When you compare it to, the Old Forester single barrel proof bourbon, that is I don't know if it shows up on camera very well. They are very different colors in person. All right, let's give this a nosing and let's see how we feel. Ooh, the nose is different on this. First off, on the nose, it's pretty strong. Definitely feels 127 proof. This one gives me like apricot or peach vibes. A little bit of orange in there as well. I'm going to let this sit for a minute. Few moments later. Back here, a little bit of orange is coming through now in the nose still, but nothing unpleasant. Like, I like licorice, but for some reason, when it comes to my whiskey, I don't really want licorice in there. Sometimes it works. I don't typically like it though. So I'm happy that isn't showing up in this one at least. And it's super light. This one's a super light smelling rye whiskey. I'm getting like sweet notes on this. The main note that's coming out for me on this on the nose is graham cracker. Graham cracker and peach is kind of what I'm getting here. There's definitely some barrel on this, some oak, but it's sweet oak. It's not like barrel char. The nose is really pleasant. I really like it. It's almost a little floral, which I'm here for. Almost getting some perfumey vibes out of this. I like this nose. It's all right. It's not anything that I'm gonna go out of my way to pour a glass and smell it for a little bit, but it is a solid nose, if I'm being honest. Let's give this thing a mouthing. Let's see how we feel. Rye spice all day on the back of the tongue. On my first sip, I was kind of bracing because rye whiskeys usually drink really hot to me. This one's no exception. This one definitely drinks hot. To me, it drinks above 127 proof, which is nuts. This is pretty aggressive. Now, I do know the difference between rye spice on the tongue and heat. I'm feeling it in my chest and like in the back of my head. It's kind of a two-note whiskey. It's just kind of light, and it tapers off with the rye spice, and you kind of get some like nutmegish note on it. And then there's like a little bit of barrel char, and then the dancing of the rye spice, and that's it. It's okay. I just had like a weird after note of licorice that just came through, like my breath on the exhale. There's like a slight licorice note on there. It doesn't come up on the palate very much at all. It's kind of weird, like on the end of the finish. But that orange note, oof, that orange note comes through. Rye is just too aggressive to me. I don't love rye whiskey, and I honestly think this one's okay. I don't love it. I don't know if I'd buy another one again. It's just too much. I think this would make a good old fashioned, but it would be a very strong old fashioned. Yeah, I think the rye, the 100 proof rye is probably better. I think you should stick to that one in my opinion. Now, someone who loves rye whiskey might go, "You're out of your mind. You're stupid." That's fair. But I am not a huge rye person. So what would I give this on a scale of 1 to 10? To my rye scale versus my bourbon scale. My bourbon scale, what do I think is a really solid rye whiskey? My solid rye whiskey would be like a Jack Daniel's Bonded Rye, which I think is about as good as you can get for a rye whiskey. Or the Bullet 12 Year, which is also a really great one. Or the Emerald Giant from Redwood Empire. That's a good one too. I'm going to give it a 5.8. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's just not my jam. I had a feeling it wouldn't be, but this is one that I've been wanting to have on the shelf just to kind of complete my little Old Forester single barrel mini collection that I have going on. But yeah, it's fine. I love their single barrel proofs, and I love pretty much everything else they make. So this is not an indictment against Old Forester. This is an indictment to me and myself against rye whiskey. So if you haven't tried one of these, I would say give it a try. Don't let me speak for your taste. Go out and give it a shot. If you find one, grab it. I don't think, like, worst case scenario, you should give it to your friends who like rye whiskey or who are trying to get into whiskey, see if they like it or not. You can make old fashions with it. You can mix it. Worst case scenario, they're not super expensive. All right, that's the review, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for watching. I wish this one had turned out a little bit better, at least for me, because it's not the greatest thing I've ever had, but it's also definitely not the worst. There's definitely worse ones out there. That's the review. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. Make sure you leave a like as well. If we can hit 2,500 subscribers in the year of 2024 over on YouTube, if you're watching this on anywhere else, I'm talking specifically about YouTube right now, we will be doing a 3-bottle giveaway, and the only way to enter is to make sure you are subscribed to the channel. So make sure you do that. I appreciate you all watching very, very much. I will see you guys on the next one. Until then, cheers.